May I have your attention, please? Okay, I got you. I'm on the hump. Okay. All right. Good evening to everyone, and thank you very much for your patience. We are just coming out of one meeting, coming into another. We want to say we're very happy to see everyone, and thank you so much for coming. We're going to get started this evening. I had my copy of the, oh, here it is, here. I had so much paperwork, I had to bring it up. All right, so I'm going to now call this meeting to order. And I would just like to start with us having a moment of silence for everything that has happened within our country and across the world. We have so many things happening everywhere. If you all will please just let's have a moment of silence. Thank you all very much. If everyone would please stand at this time as we salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Hutchinson-Walker.
Present.
Councilmember Waiters.
Present.
Councilmember Hall.
Here.
Mayor Martin.
Present.
Councilmember Dodson.
Here.
Councilmember Morgan.
Here.
Councilmember Morris.
Here.
Thank you. Everyone is present. We're going to move down to approval of our minutes. As everyone has the opportunity to review your minutes for January 14th for the year 2020, which was a work session, and January 15th, 2020, which was the town meeting. Have you had the opportunity to review?
Yes. Yes.
If you have had that opportunity, at this time I will accept the motion for approval of both of those sets of minutes.
I make a motion that we approve minutes from January 14th, 2020 and work session January 15th, 2020.
I get a second on that?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the minutes for January 14th, 2020 and for January 15th of the year 2020. Are there any questions on the motion? If there are no questions, Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Hutchinson-Walker.
Aye.
Councilmember Waiters.
Aye.
Councilmember Hall.
Aye.
Mayor Martin.
Aye.
Councilmember Dodson.
Aye.
Councilmember Morgan.
Aye.
And Councilmember Morris.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The ayes have it. Those two sets of minutes have been approved. We're going to move down to our department summaries. We have the first item listed here is our police department summary. Councilmember Morris, as the new designated person for the police department liaison, would you please give us a summary of the police department?
Good evening. Police report is as follows for January 14th through February 6th. 5301 Sheriff Road, a victim was transported to Prince George's Hospital for a cutting. There was a sexual assault on 60th Avenue. The victim was assaulted by a taxi cab driver. The Civic Association meeting formed a safety team committee. Officer Derek Hunter continued his field training with Glenarden Police Department, but is no longer with the town of Fairmount Heights. Town patrol violations and tickets were given out on K Street and Addison Road enforced, which has been an ongoing issue that has not been addressed as of yet, but is now starting to take force. All court dates were attended by police officers for case dockets. Vehicles, there was a white unmarked Dodge Charger hit while on the lot of Yang's Auto Repair, which was one of our police cars. That concludes the police report.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for the police report or for the liaison? If there are no questions, I will accept the motion for approval of the police department report for the month of January for the year 2020.
Madam Chair, to point of correction, it's my understanding if there's no action to be taken, we don't have to call for the vote. If there's nothing to act.
Well, we didn't ever come to that conclusion, so, I mean, we talked about it, but
I stand down.
No, I thought we did come to that conclusion that there was no actions taken, that we would no longer call for a vote.
well, we probably need to have something officially in our records so that it reflects that. We need to reflect that in our record.
Madam Mayor, we did that last month when the treasurer explained to the citizens why we were no longer taking votes on every action. So it is in the records.
I'll tell you what we can do, we can go back, we still need to have something official in the record
Okay.
for that.
Okay.
So I'm going to continue on down to our code enforcement report. Yes, sir.
Good evening, how you doing?
Fine.
The question, the police officer, did the officer quit the force, or was he removed,
The,
He resigned.
He died?
He resigned.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So how many officers do we have on the force?
We're not taking questions for participation yet.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
We're not taking questions at this point, and it's not citizen participation at this time.
well, it's not, but since we don't have an officer here that can really give the, the full definition of it,
Yes,
we can, yeah,
we can ask questions.
Okay.
When he stands there. So
Yeah.
how many police do we have on the
We
department?
currently have 2 police officers.
We have 2 police officers. I understand that one of them is not on active duty, but actually on desk duty. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So we have 1 police officer that's patrolling the town of Fairmount Heights.
We have 1 active police officer that's on duty, and he is being backed up by the Prince George's County Police.
How many hours does he work in a week?
He works his regular schedule, which is about 35 to 40 hours a week.
So he's not full-time.
He is not full-time.
okay. All right, we're gonna, you have anything for our code enforcement report?
I do have a code enforcement report.
Would you please give that also?
Sure. During the following period of January 14th to February 5th, we've had the following building permits issued at 710 Second Street, Second Avenue LLC, which is at 710 62nd Avenue. During this period, we've issued 3 notices of violations and corrective actions. The District Court of Maryland has ruled in the favor of the property owned by Mr. Tommy Broadwater on Sheriff Road. Occupancy permit required is $1,000. Business license renewal for Bush and Beautiful Natural Hair, $365. There was a civil citation issued for J.J. Homes on 6103 Lee Place for a building permit. JBN Realty Investment on 602 62nd Avenue for occupancy permit required. Tommy Broadwater on 5371 Sheriff Road for occupancy permit required. We have placed 9 stickers on unregistered or abandoned and inoperable vehicles throughout the town. WSSC has made a request to repair a sewer in the main in the 6100 block of L Street, Fairmount Heights. GlassDC.com has started parking unregistered or abandoned and inoperable vehicles in a lot owned by Mr. Dipson at 5710 Cole Street. J.J. Homes on 6103 Lee Place has paid a fine of $1,000 for building permit required. Pamela Tyler renewed her rental license at 1028 58th Avenue, $400. And that concludes the code enforcement report. Any questions? it to him, Madam Mayor.
All right. Okay, that concludes the police department report and the code enforcement report. We have the treasurer's report, and I will do that to make sure that all the figures are read into the record because there's quite a bit of information here. This is the treasurer's report for January 2020. Current assets are $677,000, $170.58, which includes the following accounts. Checking account, $389,135.55, which is used for daily operations. Payroll, $24,588.64, used for biweekly payroll and stipends. LLEB grant, $207.25, which is a dormant account. Police seizure account, which is $975.63, which is a dormant account. Economic development, $221,313.77. Public safety, $23,740. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. $23,749.90. A dormant account will be used for red light account. Highway user is $11,876.95. The scholarship account is $1,871.87. The PNC account is $3,451.02. This under P&L review, item 45, line item 4405, building hall rental. Discuss procedures and fees for opening and closing and security when the space is used by the mayor and council members. 4406, parking lot rental. 2 tenants are delinquent. Council would discuss options for terminating those contracts and removing the vehicles at the March staff meeting. 4030, business licenses. Delinquent accounts were submitted to the state of Maryland. Accounts will be flagged. State license will not be issued until municipal fees are paid in full. 4300, trash pickup, bulk and commercial. Form approved for citizens to request bulk pickup. Rate changes will be reviewed for fiscal year 21. 5730, security cameras. Cameras were approved and installed in the police department, upper level and lower level. Alarm system reactivated. Handicap door repaired, no cost to the town. 5710, building renovation locks. Exterior and interior locks were changed and updated. All individuals issued keys were required to sign prior to acceptance. 5778, cable TV station. Pending invoices will be paid now that the requested changes have been made. 5755, still awaiting estimates from vendors to secure the trash cans to concrete slabs. Current estimates exceed $4,000. Council will revisit the cost to secure the 10 trash cans at the next staff meeting. 7060, refuse disposal. Outstanding bills with Greyhound are now being handled by me, Mayor Martin. Grant Pocket Park. Park rule signs will be delivered on the 20th of February 2020. Quotes for installation are still pending. Playground equipment has been ordered. Installation is scheduled for mid-March. The cost to purchase 3 new trash cans will be included in the FY21 budget. That is the treasurer's report for the month of January. So I'm just reading these and checking them off. I'm now down to our town manager's report. Mr. Rumi, wait, would you come forward? You want to summarize yours?
I will just add a
Okay.
summary.
Okay.
Good evening to the citizens, to the mayor and council. I've been out on sick leave for 2 weeks. I've been really, really sick. And so this is my first week coming back. However, there were projects that I'm working on, and they will be included in Councilmember Dotson's report as by the 2020 census. I would like to inform the citizens and the council that we received a grant. I think it was pretty close to $8,000 And we're gonna use those funds to help get the word out about the 2020 census. One of the exciting events that we have will be held on April 1st, and our title, real catchy, and it's called No Fooling, Today's Census Day. We're gonna order 2 street signs. If I gave the wrong number, Councilman Johnson will correct me. We will have giveaways on that day. We're gonna have refreshments, and right now, we're still looking for, someone to do interpretation. If there are any citizens here in the, who can hear my voice, we're also looking for children, senior citizens, veterans, the homeless, bilingual. We're looking for every group that we would like to do a beautiful banner, and our banner is entitled, "We Want to Be Counted." So if you have any children, if you have senior citizens, I think we try to do senior citizens on Tuesday. Anyone, we would like to create a nice banner that we can use at a later date. Also, tomorrow, I will be circulating on Friday. It's a public hearing to be held on March 12th. And a copy of the draft, and the public hearing will, the title of the public hearing is to review the vacant lot ordinance. You can get a copy of that ordinance off of our website, www.fairmountheightsmd.gov, or you can call and come down to the office. And the last thing is, on April 2020, this is Earth Month, April 22nd is Earth Day. We're planning a big cleanup event with the Anacostia Watershed Society. It will be on Saturday, April 25th, from 9 to 12 at 5331 Sheriff Road. I think we've been having a lot of problems at that particular intersection. And I will be working with the mayor to arrange for, and Councilmember Morgan, I will be working with you too, so we can arrange for trash pickup that particular day, although it's a Saturday. As I stated, much of what I just mentioned will be included in others' report tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Well, the town manager's report has been read into the record for the month of January, and it's read in on February 20th tonight. The circuit rider was listed also. She's not present. She was here for the work session. So some of those items that were mentioned in Mr. Rumor's report, especially the Earth Day work, will be part of the information that she reported back also. So she has a written report that was presented on the night of the work session. Okay, we're going to, well, I think someone requested, a council member requested that the Civic Association had something to say. Mr. Barnhart, would you like to say something now, or you want to wait until later? It's okay.
I can do it now.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff going on, so just get mine out the way. Good evening, everyone. All right, my name is Martez Barnhart, President of the Civic Association, and we have some upcoming meetings that's coming up. We have our meetings on the first Monday of every month. This month coming up, March, is going to be our regular standard meeting. That's going to follow up by our very, very, very important meeting come March the 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. March the 3rd? Okay, and the March 3rd meeting is going to be very important for the whole community. We're going to have our own Fairmount Heights police department that's going to be there. Also, we're going to have Prince George's County Police Department that's going to be there as well. And we're also going to have members from the district police department is going to be there in efforts to kind of target our borders. That's what we're aiming towards. We're trying to do a collective effort to get all the police departments involved so we can kind of like, March the 2nd.
March the 2nd, okay.
March the 2nd.
Right.
I'm ahead of myself. Thank you, Vice President. And that time will be at 6:30 p.m. Yeah, so we would like everybody to come out to support us. If you don't know, the Civic Association is for the people. It's for the citizens. So please come out and help us to help you. Have a nice night.
All right, thank you so much. Is there anyone that would like to ask a question of Mr. Barnhart concerning the organization? If it is, I think he'll be here a while longer. Yes. All right. All right, we're going to move on down, and I had listed the, under new business, I had listed the working relationship with the Prince George's County Police Department, and that's a very important issue that we wanted to let everyone know that we've been reaching out to the Prince George's County Police Department for help with us because our department was at such a low level. So we had a large meeting with the Prince George's County Police Chief on yesterday. The majority of the council members, as a matter of fact, only 2 council members couldn't make it, so they weren't there, but we discussed a lot of options, and as of tomorrow, I think Council Member Morris might want to report something as he's the liaison, so he might want to report something as we get down to council reports. But it was very fruitful, and it showed us a way that we could get a lot accomplished, but we were very thankful to them for at least starting the process, because as soon as they were contacted, they started putting extra patrols here in the town. I know most people said at the last meeting that they noticed that Prince George's County was rotating around and really helping us out a lot. So we appreciate that help, and we're moving forward. I just wanted to put that particular verbiage in.
Can I ask
So
a
we,
question?
yes.
When I have individuals who are parking in areas that say no parking allowed, are the Prince George's County Police able to write tickets in the town of Fairmount Heights?
Well, there are a lot of details that we're really going to work out as to the do's and the don'ts. And right now, I think there are some things they probably wouldn't even we're going to sign an agreement with them soon. And all of those things will be outlined concerning the ticketing and some of the other things questions that could come up.
Okay, because
Yes.
I was told by them that there is no MOU
Right.
between the town of Fairmount Heights and the Prince George's County Police.
Yes.
They cannot intervene.
Yeah.
And when we have issues that are non-critical, they say you need to contact your local police department.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times there's no answer.
And that's true.
So if there is a meeting that you all are going to convene, would it be possible to invite the citizens so that we can be in on that all?
And that's a possibility, because he did mention the fact. Now, let's talk also about the Civic Association meeting on the 2nd. Is that the 2nd or the 3rd? The 2nd. So come to that particular meeting, and they're going to have representatives from the county here then also. And that would be an ideal time to talk about the ifs, ands, and buts and the ways we're going to make this system work.
Well, I would hate to step on, because they have an agenda with the young men. I think that's an awesome opportunity. So I would hate to, take that over. But if you all could arrange something, because we are the face of Maryland, we're on the DC line.
Yeah.
We have challenges that people wouldn't even understand.
Oh, yeah.
So to be able to have a MOU with the District of Columbia Police Department, because I see on Eastern Avenue where there is people who are parking next to the hydrant, and that is the DC line. So to be able to have a MOU between the Prince George's County Police Department, the actual one officer that we have, and the Prince George's County, the DC will be an awesome opportunity. Most people don't have the challenges of being on that DC line.
And they don't. They don't.
And I have a one-way street, and you would never know it. County Councilwoman Jolene Ivy was standing in my front yard, and she watched people flying down my one-way street, and she said, they don't, and I said, they don't. And so I know for a fact that if a Prince George's County Police were to witness that, could they intervene?
Yeah. All right. Well, he also agreed, too, that there is a possibility that he could come out and address a large group. Now, I think the first step is let's as many people as possible, meet on that night that the Civic Association is calling here, because I think, Mr. Barnhart, have you all already contacted D.C. police officers about, or some representatives from coming for that night, and the county, and us as the town?
Okay, excuse me, everyone, I have a correction I have to make. March the 2nd is our regular scheduled meeting, okay? After that meeting, on the 28th of March, the Civic Association is doing a a walk in the neighborhood. We're going door to door to make sure that we reach out to the citizens of the community, let them know what's going on about the city and also about the census. Okay? Now, April the 6th is the important meeting. That's the meeting where we're gonna have a joint effort with the police department. Now, with that, Lieutenant Ivy is reaching out to the departments, getting their assistance for this meeting right here. We wanted to schedule this meeting in April to give everybody ample enough time to clear their schedules so they can attend the meeting.
Okay,
So that's April the 6th for the police department.
okay,
Sorry. 7 o'clock.
okay.
PM.
7 o'clock.
And on the 2nd of March, the Civic Association, on the 2nd at 6:30.
Okay,
I just have one more question.
yeah.
Has the council considered doing like other municipalities in the county and change your charter that we as residents of Fairmount Heights are governed or monitored and managed by Prince George's County Police, so that you all don't have the liability of a police department?
Well, you
Is
know,
that considered?
well, you know, all those things are always considered when we sit down and we meet and we talk about all the ifs, ands, and buts. All those things are under consideration, so.
Can your council elaborate, do you all agree, you all are residents as well, so would you all agree that we could, because I think it's North Brentwood that has no police department, but they are a municipality.
Yeah.
And they are covered by Prince George's County Police.
Yeah, and a lot of these municipalities now, though, they're changing their process because sometimes they're piggybacking. You have like 2 municipalities that go together and you have 3,
That's right.
and they sort of join forces and work together. But the main thing is just to keep everyone safe. It's, you know, that's the major job. And it's a very hard job to do, but it's a major job that we have to
Even the chief
try
of
to
police-
do.
The chief of police said on national television that we cannot afford a police department. We can't afford the technology. We can't afford to pay individuals the amount of money that they can make in a place where they have the credibility and are not presenting us as, because are we gonna find out how much it's gonna cost us, the event that took place in this town hall? Are we gonna find out as residents what lawyer fees?
Well,
what lawsuits?
See, you know what, a former council member, this actually comes under our legit plan.
Okay.
And within that plan, they will outline everything it's going to cost, but those costs have not come forward to us yet. All we know is that we have a policy with them.
Okay.
And that we are covered. And we're working on that premise.
All right.
So
So
that's,
like other insurances, will they reevaluate our policy next time, that we will then have an increase in policy?
well, see, we won't know that until time for renewal.
All right.
So, yeah.
But you know what, with us coming under the county, the citizens would have 24-hour coverage, and you all would not have the liability of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot
I
of.
would like for.
There are a lot of pros and cons on that. A lot of pros and cons. So,
And
yeah,
are
all right.
we that it would just be a matter of changing the charter?
Well, I think, like I said, we'd have to really
Okay.
investigate.
Thank you, ma'am.
It takes
Thank
investigation.
you, ma'am. Thank you
Yeah.
for all that you do.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right, we're going to move on down, and at this time, we're going to actually go to the homeowners association. I think that there was something that was supposed to be a presentation. If you all want to come forward, now's your time.
Can I ask a question? What is the budgeted FTEs for the police department?
I think, what was the quote? It was like 200, I can't give it to you off the top of my
That's
head.
the amount, the number of full-time, the number of positions.
The number, two full-time and 2 part-time,
Council members and
not including the chief.
funding.
So it's a total of 5.
Yes. Thank you.
Greetings, Mayor, council members, citizens of the community. My name is Greetings again, Mayor, council members, citizens, family. My name is Jesse Johnson. I'm a longtime resident and just concerned citizen within the community, specifically Bryn Mawr of West Fairmount Heights Town community, which is right there on the border of Eastern Avenue. And like Sherry said, it's the face of Maryland, it's the face of PG County, it's the face of Fairmount Heights. Many of you all just sitting here know me and know me from my younger years because I joined the military and it took me away for 20 years. I'm a retired Navy chief, 20 years. And I returned to the community, and I'm really upset of what I've seen over the past few years of my return within the community. I've had a murder, actually 2 murders or shootings next to my parents' house. And it's disconcerting that I have to go and physically go get my mother because she's scared to even walk around the community like she once did before. And so many other issues have arisen since the decline of our homeowners association, which really brings me here today to speak to you all. And basically the request is from the community of 31 homes that in that community of Bryn Mawr, West Fairmount Heights, is basically to utilize a facility that we can meet so that we can revive a dysfunctioning homeowners association, because it also contributes to a lot of the issues that have been risen today as far as crime in the community, just the decline in just taking care of property. If we're going to be the face of Maryland, PG County, Fairmount Heights, I think that we should support homeowners associations that may have fallen, off track, to help them reestablish. And I'm here today basically just to request to utilize your facilities here in the town, whether it be the townhome, the townhouse here, or somewhere else within the community. I'm gonna give you a little background of just how I contributed to my community and how it's given to me. So I arrived in Fairmount Heights in 1991, coming from DC, and there was a development of that community where we had Mr. Henry Spriggs, who was a developer, well-known developer within the community. He saw in me the passion for the community and offered me a job. So I helped build a lot of the homes that you see around Fairmount Heights. And with his mentorship, he actually inspired me to start my first business here in Fairmount Heights under landscape and lawn care. So for the 4 years prior to me joining the military, I took care of our community. And like I said, I received so much from so many mentors and people that just brought me in as a son, as a brother. And to come back and see the decline, what the initial intent was to build this community so it would uplift the surrounding neighborhoods and communities around here. So for the past year, we've been meeting in each other's homes, but this concerted effort is starting to gain momentum. We have more people, and so the house is not suitable to hold these meetings. So that's why I'm really emphasizing, really expressing my request respectfully to accommodate our homeowners association to revive it so that we can help contribute. Maybe even, I mean, if we can bring that together and we bring our funds together until we can get the police department in here to protect our citizens, our homeowners association may just pay out of its funds to hire moonlighter policing to do something to help build the community back up to what I would like it to see, and I know each one of you all would like it to see happen in this community. And with that, I just hope you take that under consideration. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Hold on. Are there any questions? Are there any questions for Mr. Johnson from the council members concerning, okay, that would be the fourth, what is that, a Tuesday?
That's correct. The
Fourth Tuesday of every month?
Yes, ma'am.
For what period
Yes,
of time? For like, what, a year or 6 months or?
Until we are able to reestablish the homeowners association, and then we can then go forth and pay for our own venue to hold our our meetings. If the county would extend the graciousness.
I don't think there should be a time limit. If the community is able to use a room here to meet, why would there be a time?
Well, it would be a time limit because of the fact that someone has to make sure that it's open and closed, and that's it would have to be either alternate council members or me or someone who's on staff here. That's the reason why we have to always, when we're going to consider, you have to see, how much is involved in this. The idea sounds marvelous because we've been saying for the longest kind of time that the HOA needs to be reincorporated. But when you start talking about, once a month for 2 hours, someone has to come and meet whoever's going to be here, open it, come back 2 hours later, close it. And so that was the reason why I asked about that.
So maybe
Mayor, since I live on that block, I will take that.
That's all, that was what we would have to do. You'd have to have a commitment from someone to do that. Yeah. Just have to get the commitment. Yeah. So as long as the council members are,
Will it start this month?
it's the 28th.
The 28th.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
if I may, request that we discuss this. We've just received it and we haven't had time to review it yet.
Oh, yeah, we can always
Yeah.
do this we can get back for an answer, but I just wanted to entertain the idea of someone to open and close because I know that would be the biggest issue.
We haven't discussed it.
Okay? All right.
And if it is free for a period of time, I would think that the council would propose what that rate would be for the 2 hours. That way we could entertain it as a community if we could pay it.
But in the beginning, we don't have those funds, so
Okay.
we're asking, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because now, the reason why I was trying to find out as much information as possible because of the fact that we won't have a work session until the second Tuesday. So I was trying just to, get the information formulated, and then we can make sure that this is an item that we've worked out the details on. Okay.
So at least for 1 year, and then if there is a fee that you will come up with to let us know what that would be.
No, ma'am, I'm not rejecting the request. I'm just saying we just received it and I'd like to discuss it. I think a couple of decisions were made, but for me, I would like to have some more information, some more insight on your logistics, and then make a decision based on everything that you need, rather than just make a decision on opening and closing the door
So we're the only HOA?
Yes.
that we know of.
There are no other,
That we know.
no other
Yeah.
townhomes. Everything else is individual. Everything else is individual homes.
Can we just thank the Public Works Department, because if I'm not mistaken, they assisted Prince George's County Public Works in cleaning up the land on Eastern Avenue that had
all kind of things thrown down in the big cesspool there.
We
Yeah.
actually had a meeting with Jolene Ivy.
Okay.
And she said that she would contact the county to see if they could do it, knowing that we were in a predicament with our trash.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank them.
Okay. So this item here will be one that we will put on, what date is the work session for? Next month's work session is?
So we should know something by that time?
Yes. That would be the 10th of March.
Right, thank you.
And FYI, the county cleans up once a month also. County cleans up once a month also in that area.
Thank you.
They hadn't been cleaning up.
Yeah, that's been in bad shape for a long while.
It's a Weatherman too.
Yeah, it's,
All I know is she said she will take care of it, and we have plans on attending her meeting
Yeah.
and thanking her. We also have plans on, if you all know the history, we have managed to bring in the Maryland Coalition for collaborative housing. That delegate, what's his name? Barnes. And
Okay.
we are working with them, along with Delegate Eric Barron, who attended one of our meetings, and he's going to get us an attorney. So, because they recognize that with the death of Mr. Spriggs,
Yeah.
he died suddenly, so a lot of information was not turned over at the county level.
right.
So we appreciate your support. We plan on being at Senator Benson's meeting on Monday as well to ask for her support.
Okay.
Because I know how she is about clinics.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you all very much for your presentation. We're going to move on down to, on the agenda, the last item on the new business is the Census 2020. And at this time, I would like to have Councilmember Wood Dotson elaborate on, again, we're going back to the importance of the Census 2020 and the plans that we have in place to make this a very effective venture. Yes.
Good evening. It's important for each one of us to really be a part of the census because of the count and each individual that don't vote, don't fill out the census, 18,250 per person will be deducted from what would come into the community. Literature will start going out into the community, but tonight, Ms. Kim Gladden is going to pass out some information to you all, and you'll start seeing the information like Mr. Barnhart said, when we walk, we'll have door hangers. We'll be passing out information at least 3 times in the community. So it'll be door knockers, door hangers, different literature in English and Spanish, as well as what Ms. Sarumi spoke of. The kickoff day will be April 1st at the library, and that will be where it will be accessible for whoever want to do it on the computer, as well as by next month, we should be able to set up a place here as well for you to come in and fill out the census on either a laptop right out here if that's needed. We want to do whatever we have to so the impact will really be a good send-off for our community. Anyone have any questions in regard to what's going to be done or any projection you might want to interject that might help? As I said, April 1st is the day. The census will be done on that day, and literature will be passed out. So you can get some now. And then we have even information where it's a guide. So those that might want a guide tonight, we have a few guides that we can give out, but our other literature will be here a little later this month because we sent it to press to be printed. And that's my report on the census. Yeah, you can let it go now.
Yeah, because people might leave.
Yeah, because they'll start doing it.
Okay.
So one is the guide to you that has step-by-step instructions. And the other one is a pamphlet that I put together.
Yeah, all the information.
Yeah. It's different.
It's 2 packets.
Yes. two packets, and it's two different topics that I put together. And it's two-sided, what I put together is English and Spanish. And it has frequently asked questions. It talks about the census and confidentiality. And when I put this together, I was just trying to think of questions that, census, us as taking a census may have. Just letting you know that the census counts everyone in your household. It counts everyone in the United States. It's the FAQ, why the United States wants to know basically your business, So it's just, guys, to give you, and it goes in a little more detail how the census data is used. So the information they're collecting, how they're using the data. How the census is going to invite everyone, to respond, getting the card in the mail. And the different ways that you can respond. So, I put together probably about 50 of this packet and probably about 100 of these packets. But as you mentioned, once it goes to production, then we'll have
more.
certainly more.
You say that if you can, there will be a form, and you can also apply online.
Yes. And that's what it says.
Yes.
That's
what's in the packet.
You can reply by phone.
Okay.
You can reply online. You can reply by paper. Yes. So this is not the official. I mean, this is just letting
Just some
citizens know how
information.
Yes.
But it's important to do because you'll find out in 10 years, say you want to go back into it, the census lets it be known where you were at that time. I recently went into an old census and researched it and found out about my grandfather and a lot about the legacy of where I came from the census. It went all the way back to 1835. So, I mean, you can find out a lot about yourself if you really research the census. You'll find out where you came from.
And the information, to answer your question, the information that I pulled directly from the census website, the United States Census website, PG County has a website, the state of Maryland has a website. So the literature that I pulled, if they had it bilingually, I included it. So every page in here is not bilingual, but if they had it, I put it.
All right, I just know that in the last 2 years, every house that has sold in the townhomes is by Latino.
Right. We have it in
If I'm not mistaken, this is where the census is having a problem.
Right.
pulling in
It's a
numbers.
hard
Yeah.
Right,
count.
they're one of the hard.
This is a hard count area.
Hard count.
That's why we're gonna walk the streets and pass them
All
out.
right, so what I would suggest to you is we have quite a few in our community. Because our HOA meeting will be almost mandatory because they know paperwork will be signed, consider sending one of your representatives so that you can engage them at that time. Just
Yes.
consider.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get kids from Port Town to come.
That doesn't mean you're excluded. You're part of Fairmount Heights, whether you're HOA or not.
Yeah, but just I find that a lot of times you'll put things on doors, but to actually
Well,
capture
No,
them.
no, we're gonna knock and talk directly to the
I'm just
people.
doing this to help out the town.
I
Yeah.
got you, 'cause
Yeah, so when you say
that's-
you, we're all citizens together,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
okay?
All right.
Yeah, I'm not from the census, I'm not from.
Oh, I know, I have
county.
seen.
Yeah. Don't say you, I'm not part of.
But I
I'm
mean,
just helping out.
you all trying to
Okay.
engage them,
Okay.
that's all.
Yeah, that's one thing we're gonna look for, an interpreter. We can pay for an interpreter too.
Okay, gotcha.
But we're gonna, reached out to Port Town, they have bilingual kids. And I'm trying to see if they will come and assist in disseminating a lot of
They were
stuff.
saying that.
They can get community service out.
They also were saying that they're paying for grants for
Right.
people to set up computers.
Right.
For them to come in on
Right.
that day and fill them out. So is it
They can
possible?
do it at the library. The library is one of the hubs.
All right, so maybe you can have someone in the library.
That's what we're
That's what
gonna
they
do
gonna
on
do.
April 1st.
Yeah.
That's the kickoff,
Right.
April 1st.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yes,
in
ma'am.
here on April 1st.
No, that'll come out.
Did you have a census question? Okay, all
I
right.
just wanted to know what was the end date that people need to turn their census in by, what date?
The census doesn't end, to my understanding, until December. They'll still be taking them until December, but they're trying to do an overhaul during the month of April, as many as we can get, attention to really adhere and fill out. They want to see within the first 3 months that it's
Right.
I have a question. What do you suggest that the college students, they won't be home until about the end of May, the middle of May. Now, as long as they're in college, they have to be counted there, even though they're residents of Fairmount Heights. So what do you suggest that we do with them
as far as being counted.
as far as being counted in Fairmount Heights?
I think they would have to be done where they reside. Yeah, because my granddaughter had to
No,
do it at
as
the
long as
college.
they're in school, the schools try to make them be
Do
counted
it right.
there.
That's what happened to my grandkids. They had to do it at the college.
So should we wait for when they're home,
You can
for
ask the
them to be
question.
counted?
What I'll do is ask the question, call tomorrow, and be able to give you a better insight, because I don't want to, tell you one thing and something else. I know what I would
We don't want to miss out on any funds.
do. Right.
Right, that's true. That's true. Okay. All right, well, thank you all very much, and as we're trying to keep that word out there, 2020 census, we realize how vital it is. Everyone, just please pass the word. We have to get that count. Our numbers need to increase, because I think last year, or not, the last census, we were like 27 percentile, which is, that's putting us way too low. We gotta get it higher. Yeah. We just have to try to encourage people and tell them about the importance of doing it and how it's going to help us as a community. Yes. Okay, we're going to move on down. Thank you all very much for your reports. We're going to move down to old business. I wanted to sort of give an update on our dump truck. We're in the process of purchasing one. It's been a very long journey. First of all, because our equipment that we had has been older equipment. It wasn't purchased new, and we didn't establish the relationships with the companies that we had a long time ago. So in order to reestablish, you have to go and get new PIN, FIN numbers to try to be included in the fleet price, which give us a good price. So we're searching and searching, and hopefully we'll get some good word back by the end of the week that Ford Motor Company will approve us to get one. So hopefully you'll see a new one out on the street, because it's so vital. And right now we still have a lot of leaves and things that need to be picked up because of the fact that the weather has still not turned really cold. So it puts us at a disadvantage. So we're working and working. Just rest assured that any moment now, any day, you hope to see that new truck drive up, and it will be the town of Fairmount Heights truck owned by the town. No secondhand, a brand new truck. Okay? So just want you all to know, give you an update and let you know about the progress. It's not like it's going unattended. There's a lot of work being put into it. A lot. And along with that, also, we'll have a good warranty on that, so that if, we can keep the maintenance up and have a good warranty that goes along with the product. Also, that opens doors, so when we are ready to buy our other vehicles, we'll have a door and a leg in that we'll have credit established. We can go out and purchase our other vehicles. So I just wanted to let everyone know where we are with that. I want to move down to the 85th anniversary, and at this time I would like the committee members to please give an update to the community as to where we are and where we're going with the 85th anniversary.
Okay, for the 85th anniversary, all the save the dates have gone out to all the municipalities in the community. There will be other updates coming, sending them directly to the municipalities. For March 21st, we're talking about having a historical talk with our residents in the town of Fairmount Heights. That's going to be at the library. We'll work out the time and date for that. The Facebook page is there. You can go on Facebook, which will connect you to, if you want to buy your tickets, that'll connect you directly to the Eventbrite page where you can buy your tickets there and purchase them. We have our next meeting, if you're interested in coming, it's going to be March 6th. There are other fundraising events that are coming up, and I'll let the committee members and talk to you about that. Ms. Sheldon is not here, so she won't be able to give you an update on what's going on with her committee. And if Jackie Wood Dodson wants to give her report on the bus trip, she can do that. So that's what we have for right now. And again, March 21st, we will be talking to the citizens in the community, talking about the history, the things that they did when they were here in Fairmount Heights. And the next meeting is March 6th, and that meeting starts at 6:30. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to move on down. I'm going to begin with the mayor's report. I want to give several updates. First of all, item number 1, we have a retreat that we've been trying to do for a few months now. It's been maybe 3 or 4 months, but some of the options fell in, but we do have a new date, and we're going to do 2 parts. It will be Friday evening from 6 until 10, and it's going to be at Bowie State University. Ms. LaShawn Quander is here. She's the one that's actually organizing everything, putting it together for us, and we'll have part 2 on Saturday morning, which will still be at Bowie. So we hope for some good items to come out of that as far as peace, understanding, and goals and opportunities for the town of Fairmount Heights. This is not just an opportunity to sit across from anyone. This is a chance to really sit down and work out our plans moving forward, because we have all of these charts here. These charts really mean something. That's plans that have been outlined, but we have to be able to put this in action, and it takes agreement and communication to do it. So I'm looking forward to what we can gain. Each person has to have their mind and their spirits open to learn and to cooperate, because it takes that in order to do anything you do. Your spirit and your heart, it's got to be in it, and it's got to be headed toward the benefit of the town of Fairmount Heights. So we will give a report as to how things work out. Hope to come up with some specs as to how we're going to move forward on these economic development projects, and especially to learn about fostering understanding and love. You don't have to love each other. We don't have to love each other. We have to work together, because that's a mandate from the town. So I hope that from this weekend we'll come forward with new ideals for that. I just wanted to tell everyone about it. I think I mentioned last month that this year's Black History Women's Program is going to be a combination program. It will be on March 15th here at the Town Hall, and we're going to have a guest speaker. The person I've been working on, she's been sort of hard to tie down, so I might have to supplement someone else, because she's going national now. So, you know, she's working MSNBC and a lot of other places. So even if I have to stick somebody else, we always have people right in the community that will come right in and tell you everything you want to know about Fairmount Heights, Black history. We've done it before, and we can do it again. We have people waiting in the wings to do it. I've already gotten the cooperation of Fairmount Heights High School, the band. We have the drama club. Last Saturday, we were at North Brentwood. We had one of the most exceptional, inspirational, liturgical dancers to come forward. So I've contacted her about starting the program off, because I know it will bring in a good spirit into this building. So all of that's being outlined. It's all for the good of the town. The program will start at 3:00 p.m. It'll be right here. And naturally, you know, there'll be refreshments. Everything will be wonderful. And we'll record that so that the people that cannot make it will be able to see it at home. I wanted to talk about Compare Foods. Now, as you all know, Shoppers on Martin Luther King closed right around the holiday, and they had said it would take them 45 days to reopen. Well, no. Well, the one on over in Colma Manor is reopened already. They reopened on Colma Manor, right there on Yeah, they've reopened. Now, they came to their meeting at the beginning of the week, I think it was Monday last week, and they talked about, they have stores in 5 different states. They have stores in Massachusetts, Connecticut, North Carolina, New York, so it's a big chain of stores. But one thing about it is that we know we really need them, because right now, unless you have transportation, you're only going to go to Save a Lot or some of the little local stores. So it's going to be a great benefit, and that's why I was inquiring about them as to when they'll be back with us. So they said be patient, because the one here at Martin Luther King is soon to be open again. I don't know, when the work will be finished, but they said they're soon to reopen. But according to what I could gather also is that this particular grocery store has a lot of good fresh items. They gave high praises for their fish. So keep a lookout. Maybe we'll enjoy what they're going to have. Okay? I don't know how many people attended our financial literacy workshop. The last time we had it was last spring. Well, part 2 is coming. They've gotten another grant. This was the Raymond James Corporation. They're going to sponsor it. So they've asked us to pick some dates. They gave about 4 or 5 different dates during the months of March, April, or May. So once we get together and pick some dates we think will be conducive, we want to invite everybody out, because you learn so much, if no more than how to increase your credit score. So please be on the lookout, and hopefully you'll see some good information coming out of that. Also on March the 12th, I don't know whether Mr. Rumi mentioned it, but we're going to have the vacant lot ordinance hearing. It'll be here at 6:30. It's going to be in the flyer, and it's going to be on the on TV. It's going to be at the TV station. It's on the web. Have you put it on the website yet? Okay, on the website, and it's going to be in the paper. So we need to make sure it's well advertised, and anyone who has any comments, whatever input you have, be sure to come out that night on March the 12th at 6:30 to talk about this ordinance, because it's very vital to our code enforcement officer to make it easy for him to do his job, and it keeps us at a level that we want to be advancing as far as the town itself is concerned. So please look out for that. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Addison Road project. I talked a little bit about it last month, but if you notice on Addison Road, the work there is continuous and they are moving fast. One thing that I noticed is that the Department of Housing and Urban Development, which at the bottom they have the little icons saying equal opportunity employee and equal opportunity housing and everything, we need to investigate to see how many people are going to qualify, say, for subsidized housing. Right now, when you go to that website, it doesn't give much information, but keep a watch out, because before you know it, they're going to stick a lot of townhouses there. There are going to be stores there. Everything is happening right around us. It's going to directly affect it. Right there at Addison Road, where the old Fairfield Farms used to be.
What do they call it? They call it Addison Road?
Addison Road.
I think that's the name so the name we look on.
You look under Addison Road. Yeah, so keep a lookout for that.
Mayor Martin?
Yes.
Some of the dates that you've been speaking about, are they going to be on the website?
Yes. Those dates will be on. Mr. Rumi normally updates the website, so she'll put all those on. Yeah. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to mention was the ethics board. Right now, our ethics board has been inactive because, for the last couple of years, it seems like the people that were on, seem like they just sort of fell off, and we don't have an ethics board. We need one very bad. So right now, two people were presented at the meeting, and the council wants to see more advertisement. So we're going to put out an advertisement for people to come forward. It's going to run until the end of March. Anyone who wants to apply for the Board of Ethics can apply. If you would please bring your information in and say that you want to apply for the Board of Ethics for the town of Fairmount Heights, and then they'll be taken under consideration. And so the choice will be made, because we need 3 people, okay?
And is it true that they do not have to be residents of Fairmount?
Well, I have not found that anywhere. Most of the other ethics boards, we've always said that, we desire them to be residents of the town of Fairmount Heights, but I guess I've never seen that anywhere. The charter does not mention it. So, you know, I guess sometimes you have to think outside the box. You have to think outside the box, yeah. So really, that just about ends what I have to say. And I'm going to start with the council members so that we can get reports from the council members. I'm going to start to my right. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Folks. Basically, there is a wide range, you know, different in our charter. I'll let you read what the charter says, but you know, it's mainly just to make sure things stay above board and they're done the right way within the town. I'm just simplifying it for you, but there is verbiage in the charter about it.
And the charter's on the website.
Yes. So take a look at that.
Are there any
All right.
requirements?
Well, that's the reason why it has always been a tradition to be just residents that were within good standing within the town of Fairmount Heights, you know.
So they don't have to have a good,
Oh, not the,
do they do a background check?
no, not that I've known. That could be something new, but that has never been done. It was mainly just the people that lived in the town that were good upstanding citizens.
So they don't have to have a high school diploma?
That was not included, no.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm going to start on the other end here for council reports. Councilmember Morris.
Good evening again. As Mayor said, that I am taking over the responsibilities of overseeing the police department here in Fairmount Heights. Last night, we all met with the chief of Prince George's County, and we expressed our thoughts and concerns and, you know, complaints at some point. And they have agreed to come in here and help us rebuild our police department. I'm sure everybody's heard what's going on in the news. We don't have to keep going back over that. But as a lifelong resident of Fairmount Heights, I remember as a kid knowing who the police officers were that patrolled our street. There are several instances in our town that need to be addressed very bad. And we're working with the county to address those issues, to correct them in some cases. And we welcomed Ms. Burkhart, we welcome you to come to our meetings all the time and help us, and we'll continue to show up at your meeting to bring out the concerns and complaints and see what we can do to work together. That's it.
Okay, Councilmember Morgan.
So you said the
Okay.
police department is going to work with Fairmount Heights. Is that going to be the process of finding a new police chief, or are we going to use them in place of hiring a new police chief?
The county police officers are coming in to do what's called like an oversight. They're going to assist us in all areas of bringing our police department back to its greatness. So whatever that may be, they're going to outline it, and they'll have more than one person coming in and out and interacting with us to make sure that all our procedures are put in place, make sure all our ordinances are enforced, make sure that everything that is wrong with our police department at the time they come in, which starts tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Okay? Yes, sir.
Did I hear you say you were in charge or you were liaison? What do you do? I mean, what are your jobs?
I am the co-chair, I am the chair of the police department, so, which means the chair.
Liaison.
Committee.
Liaison.
Committee.
However you want to say it.
Liaison.
Committee. Not the department, committee.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, you said police committee?
Committee.
A committee of one? Or I mean,
Public safety, citizens, and the chair, council chair.
who's
We,
the committee?
council member,
Committee of one? I'm trying to understand, I'm sorry. Is the committee of one?
the committee consists of
Okay,
a chair and a co-chair,
okay.
and members of the
Tell her to send
community
this
or
out to
members.
everybody.
Yes.
I don't know, I can't answer the question as to who's on the public safety. Councilmember Morris has to answer that
Who's on the
question.
public safety committee? Or, yeah, how's this formed, I guess?
I was nominated by the council.
Oh, what?
But are you a committee of one?
No, there's not a committee,
Yeah,
not a
see,
committee.
Who's on the committee?
Can I,
Committee is up
excuse
here
me,
on
can
the-
I,
on
can
the-
I,
on the
can I,
platform.
can I step in here and give Council Member Morris some help? In lieu of all that's transpired in our town in retrospect to our police department, I decided to step down as chair. And whereas that Councilmember Morris decided to take the position. And actually, I didn't really have a report. I pretty much wanted to apologize to the citizens of Fairmount Heights for not having the wherewithal to avoid such embarrassment that we have gone through in reference to the police department. So with that, I decided to step down, and Councilmember Morris decided to pick it up. Okay. And I will tell you what I'm doing in my report as we go along, when it gets to me. Yes, sir.
Could you explain to the citizens why you stepped down?
Basically, in reference to, again, what has happened in our police department, in reference to the embarrassment that the police department has posed in the city from some of the actions of the police officers, and really in reference to some of the disparaging remarks that were made by our police chief upon his departure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I guess just in general, I've commented on this before in terms of council people's responsibilities and having committees. I mean, just what is the plan for forming a committee that includes members of the community?
So it's not a committee. If you look up here, you have a mayor and a council.
Sorry.
It takes a vote of at least 4 of us to make any decision in the town. As we went last night before the Prince George's County Police, Chief Wazinski said that he needed one point person to come to. He doesn't want every council member calling him to say, hey, this is what I think. So I speak for all of them and to all of them on everything that I do. I make no decision on my own. Everything that I decide comes from the council's vote.
I guess that just sort of is contradicts what Councilwoman Wade is.
Exactly. I'm trying to provide, well, as soon as he finishes, I'll provide an explanation. Yeah.
He said the committee is formed of a chairperson and members of the community, but we still don't have an understanding of who is the committee. We cannot have a committee, we just have a chair.
There is no committee. Again,
I'm sorry.
I didn't say committee.
I'm sorry.
Let me
I'm
finish.
sorry. Can I ask you a question? Okay. There is a committee. There is a public safety committee, a public information committee, a public works committee, so forth and so on. A council person chairs one of, I think, 4 or 5 committees. Public safety, public safety. It is not a charge, in charge, I run the police department. It is a committee. It should be made up of a council person or a chair, doesn't have to be a council person, a committee, a chair, a vice chair, and then other members. Those other members can be community members or other people. So it's a committee. We have committees. We do not run the department per se. We run the department per se as a whole, but not an individual person. To add to what Councilmember Morris has said, he is the liaison, the contact person. Information going out to the department that's helping us, information coming back to us, to keep it from being a lot of people, as he stated, calling for this specific or whatever the case may be. So to answer your question, the committee, it's a committee. So, and I deferred you to him so he could tell you who was on his committee.
Yeah.
But, yeah, yeah.
Mr. Barnhart, you all have the list of the safety.
There is no committee because of lack of participation from the citizens, and that's why a lot of things have occurred. I had to.
Yeah.
Tell them you want to be involved.
Exactly. You just come forward, tell them that you want to be involved, and continue to come. Continue to voice your concerns and your opinions. If you just come a couple of times and stop coming, and everything will just fall towards the wayside. That's what's happened.
To answer my question, there is no committee.
There is no committee right now.
It is a committee. For clarity, it is a committee. There are no members.
Okay.
They just, oh my God.
I do have a
Yeah.
question. Former committee chair, with the remarks that, because the chief of police, the former chief of police gave quite a lengthy interview on YouTube. and he said.
I'm sorry, you said he gave a what now?
A lengthy interview with the news, on the news.
Yes.
It's on YouTube. You can watch it probably.
Yeah, I
4
have.
hours long.
I have.
And what he said was, a lot of municipalities are struggling with police.
Yeah.
Because in order to get an officer with the integrity that we need, we can't afford it. They are going other places like Chevrolet, they're going other places, they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. With that said, and with him saying that, and as the former chair that has resigned, would you say that we can afford a police department on our limited budget? Because we have no businesses, we have nothing, we sustain ourselves off of citizens' tax dollars. And some of these houses are being turned into churches and take themselves off of the tax roll, because they then say that they are a place of worship. So knowing what you know, sitting there for as many years as you have, seeing Google Fairmount Heights Police, and you see all that we have endured as residents, do you think that we can afford a police department?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I have one question. Was there any other, okay, I know Mr. Morris is the chair of the police department now. Was there any other changes of chair?
Yes,
It was?
yes.
Where was it?
Well, it wasn't changes of chair, it was the vice chair. Well, let's just say like at that particular meeting, it was the vice chair, it was a vote to change the vice chair.
Can I ask, why did you change the vice chair?
That was a vote by the council.
And why did the council change the vice chair?
Well, see, on that, now that's an internal thing when it comes to changing the vice chair, because basically the vice chair is the person, like if something happens that the mayor has to be gone, then the vice chair would take it up, but the community normally, it's done internally. You know, that's an internal. Yeah,
Who's your vice chair?
Councilmember Hargrove.
Well, why was the vice chair changed?
Well, it was a decision, like I said, by the council.
And the mayor.
Yeah, by the council.
And the mayor.
But even
So
with,
you mean to tell me that they could have all of them could have got together and said that they don't want her to be your vice chair, but they want her to be your vice chair?
Yeah, okay.
All
As-
right.
as
So
well-
you can work with anybody. So
Yeah,
I'm not
hey.
worried about you.
She was there.
but there should have been a formality, and I'm still waiting for it in writing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
I want
well,
it in writing.
you know, like I said, that's the way it
In the
went down.
middle of this is the first, and I do want it in writing. And
She
that's-
didn't get a
Ms. White?
question answered. I'm sorry. She's waiting for an answer to her
Okay.
question.
Yeah, well, I didn't
She's waiting for an answer.
I thought really you was gonna say that was the only person that moved it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rumi.
The vice-
We can't hear.
Just wait.
I was telling you they were talking. I was telling you couldn't hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Why, I think we should know why was the vice chair changed? Did you step down?
No. And I don't have anything in writing, so, I mean, by word of mouth, I got it from the grapevine. So the proper way that it should have been done was in writing, not through word of mouth.
Okay,
That was done
okay.
for lack of fulfillment of duties.
What duty did I not
It was
fulfill?
done for lack of fulfillment of duty.
And what was that?
Lack of attending meetings of importance.
I missed a
All right.
meeting during the
Yes, sir.
time my daughter
Excuse me.
was in the house.
Okay,
Not right now. Not right now.
let's
Not
move
right now.
on. Yes, Mr. Barnhart.
I do think that the citizens should have had some kind of input on that, but I understand that we have a mayor and council that they kind of control that, and we don't want our meeting to get out of order.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
So we can do this as sidebar.
Yeah.
off the-
And that's fine,
Thank
that's
you.
fine.
But I would like to ask Mr. Morris this.
Oh, I'm not.
In the process
So, no.
of us rebuilding our police department and the meeting that you had the other day, what is the process and how long will that process take? That's my first part of my question.
Okay. How long it's going to take, I don't know. But we have asked for a full assessment of our police department as it stands as of tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And they are committed to give us as much resources as we need. And as long as we are working toward a common goal to help them, then they will be here to assist us.
And forgive me, because I know that you're new in that position, so forgive me, okay? I ain't trying
Ask
to throw
away.
rocks at you now. But I also want to know, what is the intent for Lieutenant Ivy on this police department? Because as he's the only officer right now that's on duty, and he's putting in a lot of work as being the only officer, where does that place him at in the future of the time?
Lieutenant Ivy is an officer in good standing. He's working with us. We don't know where we're going. We just know we're going in a better direction than where we were before yesterday. So once the county comes in and helps us with an assessment and find out where we are and what type of police department we want to be. We don't need to be a police department that chases people through our town. That's not us. We need to have a community police department that has a visibility in our town and able to handle things that they're supposed to handle, not things they're not. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I really would like to encourage the council to do outreach and get a public safety committee working on this. I mean, you're really gonna get the best result if you have people in the community involved. In the same way that we had a big effort to get rid of the prostitutes, we had a whole bunch of people involved, and it was very effective. You just have to go out and get up the energy to deal with the residents who are concerned and who want to have a role in recreating a very good police department. It's getting into ethics. It's just non-feasance not to include the residents and the community in this effort. It's just non-feasance.
There will be a time that we bring you all in and we will hear your concerns and complaints. But right now, we're just coming out of some of the worst things I've ever heard of a police department, to be honest.
Let me just add, excuse me for one moment, Mr. Syfax, let me just add to this also. Now, on our meeting with the Civic Association, I stayed for that entire meeting. We have 5 people who have volunteered to be on a safety committee, public safety committee. Now, Mr. Morris is not aware, I don't think you came to that, but you were there. So those people will, 9 times out of 10, they will be incorporated into the same committee of people that will be working towards that same goal. That's your committee. You got 5 people on that.
So instead of having one person, I mean, yes, you're the liaison, but instead of having just you as one person working with the entire PG County Police Department, you can't see and hear everything. For example, when we left that civic meeting, last time we left this meeting, I went home. I lived on 61st Avenue. I couldn't even get in my driveway. There were eight PG County police cars next door to my house. I get out of my car because I couldn't pull in my driveway, neither could my husband. I asked them, what is going on? You know what the police officer said to me? It's none of your concern. You need to go in the house. I told him, I'm in my driveway. I'm on private property. Now, thankfully, another police officer was nice enough to say, if you were in danger, we will let you know. Please go in the house. I went in the house. I called Jackie Dawson. She said she would call and let the police Lieutenant Ivy know. You think Fairmount Heights showed up? No.
Okay.
Fairmount Heights Police will show up if 911 is called, unless they're not on
There
duty.
were 8 police officers. I left here, I lived 3
Right.
minutes away.
But if Lieutenant,
And I only locked the door when I left here.
right, but he was off duty after that time.
But, I mean,
So PG County Police will respond to 911 as soon as you call them if no officer is on duty here.
so even though he was off duty, he was still on Fairmount Heights property.
It doesn't matter, if he's not signed into the radio and the dispatch, he's not going, but if he's not signed into dispatch, it doesn't come to him. Once he signs out,
Okay.
right?
We'll be here all night with this.
As our Fairmount Heights police officer, he would have come just for that, you know what I mean?
But Because if he doesn't have, if he's in here, he's not gonna have his radio on what's going on out there.
Okay,
So it all goes by the 911 dispatch.
yeah,
So when they get the phone call, they are notified if somebody is on duty. If they're not on duty, they won't hear about it until the next day.
So he was here at that meeting, because they had to have been here when we were in.
But he didn't have his radio on. He was not, he was here as a courtesy to us, but not on duty as far as patrolling the street.
okay. All right, so I think we're gonna.
Yes, sir, you have a question?
We can take yours, and then we're gonna move on to the next report, because we're gonna,
I want somebody to explain to these people in here tonight. Councilmember Upton Walker said their election of duty while the vice chair was changed. Okay, that's why we need an ethics committee.
That's right. And they are in
That's why we need an
violation
ethics
of their
committee.
charter, not having an ethics committee. Right now, if you contact the Prince George's County Ethics Committee and you open up a complaint, they are in violation of their charter, not having an ethics committee. Because that's where we're supposed to be able to take our concerns.
okay.
The mayor appointed three people. The mayor appointed three people and was questionable with one council person. So that's what we're waiting and opening it up. I'm gonna tell you about it.
I'll respond to that, former council member, because it was me. The mayor did present 2 people, 1 was absent, 3. The mayor presented 2 people and 1 was absent, 3. My concern was that an ethic board was being created with 2 members that were present, but they had not been sent out to the community for the community to offer or to see if anyone from the community wanted to be a part of the ethics board. I just felt that it should go out to the community to hold. That was my concern. Nothing to do with who was chosen, but we have to stop ignoring the community. That's my concern.
Well, it wasn't.
So, no,
it
wait,
wasn't
Madam Mayor, I'm not
Interrupted.
I'm not saying anything
Yeah.
about your decision. What I'm saying
Yeah.
is, I was the one that questioned it, or not necessarily questioned it, but made the suggestion that the opportunity be presented to the community. We want more people involved in things that go on, a part of this body. So that was my suggestion. I don't
Okay.
think I was wrong,
That's fine.
but I'll say it for the record, it was me.
So
All right, we're gonna.
why hasn't things gone out to the community?
It's gonna, well, because of the fact that Mr. Rumi normally does all the flyers, so the flyer wasn't complete. So we're in the process of getting it out, because, like I said earlier, we have a deadline for March 31st. So we want to get it out to the street, and hopefully it gets to everybody's door. We have an extra person sort of out there working now, so we have more to get it out, to put it on everybody's door. You know, because sometimes, you know how with the wind will blow certain things out. I hope everyone gets this, and hopefully it's going to be generated through the station, through the website, and through the flyer, and everybody will get the word. Yeah. Okay, we're
Yes, sir.
going to,
One more question, ma'am.
So when you say your election of duty, I understand what that means, but I'm just trying to process it. For example, your job,
okay.
or anyone's job, if you're not performing up to standards, there's a process, you know what I mean? So did Fairmount Heights process just go, so let's vote this person out? Or did that, you know, was there some counseling, you know what I mean? You just don't go from 0 to 100 or 100.
It was conversation, consistent conversation. And when I say that, we have been in 2 crises. We've had a crisis in regarding a recall. We've had now the crisis in regarding the police department. There were constant meetings that needed to be held. There were things that needed to be done. There was a very important meeting that was held with a state official. And the mayor was not available because she had a previous engagement and meeting. And the vice chair was not present. To have a state official come in to talk with us and not the mayor be present, which she was excused for she had reason not to be there, and to have the vice chair not be present either. That's the problem.
Well, one way that it could be clarified.
Oh, no.
I've answered your question.
Okay, you all. Let's move. I'll tell you what I'm going to do is to move right to Councilmember Morgan, and then I'm going all the way down the line because we still have to have citizen participation. Councilmember?
Okay, let's get back to the 85th anniversary. I attended the meeting, and I'm the one who handles the awards. So we're gonna have different types of awards at the 85th anniversary meeting. And I am also in partnership with the transportation of our seniors, who we're gonna transport there and transport back at home. Also along with Councilmember Morris. On Saturday, the 8th, I attended the town hall meeting that Jolene Ivy hosted, and it was informative. On Saturday, the 15th, me and another council member attended a fundraiser for the lodge, a paint and sip. So after the meeting, if you all want to come past and see what picture I painted. While I was sipping. Oh my. I thought I'd give you all a laugh since. And on Tuesday, we did have an informative meeting with the chief of police. We're starting from the bottom. It's gonna take all of us. It's gonna take all of the citizens' input. As the president of the Civic Association, it's going to take all of us to pitch in and help one another. That's my report.
Okay. Thank you very much. Councilmember,
You're in charge of the Public Works Committee, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you have a report on that? Because I was hoping to ask a question before I comment on the Public Works.
I actually don't have a report on it, but you can comment.
Well, if I recall correctly, at our last meeting, you mentioned that you all had hired 2 new laborers?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a concern about that, because we're out there at 1110 61st Avenue, right at the corner there, you know, where the field is, right there, Sheriff Road.
Right.
There's continually been trash there. I mean, like right now, there's 2 like large pieces of plastic that's been there for like 2 weeks at minimum. Before that, someone had dumped like a 32 or 40-inch TV in front of your house on that side. It stayed there for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Before Tuesday's trash pickup, closer to where they're doing the project, there was like a white kitchen bag full of trash. It stayed there for about 5 days. So they got it when they picked up the trash. Yes, on Tuesday. So, I mean, if we have new laborers, it's like, what are they doing? Who's, accountable for them? Who's overseeing them? Because it's not just like a piece of trash or a piece of plastic that's blowing over there and it's there for a day or 2. Like I said, I have pictures. Trash has been there for 2 weeks now. I mean, wet and dusty leaves, on the sidewalk. Like my husband, he cleaned up the leaves like in front of our house on the sidewalk, but he's certainly not cleaning up on the side. You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, so what are laborers doing? I mean.
So actually on Monday, we will be using our trash truck. They're gonna go around and pick up all the excess. We do not have a vehicle at the moment to pick up the leaves.
Okay.
And one of our public works guys was actually using his own vehicle.
Okay.
So, some days we're maybe not able to get them, but on Monday, the driver will be out along with the laborers, and we will be going through the neighborhood and pick up all the excess. I know we didn't have a bulk pickup this year. We're gonna get there. Hopefully, since our trash truck is running right now, we will get back also to those bulk days. And people are just dropping furniture everywhere.
No, it's not furniture.
No, it's, I'm saying.
The bags, just kind of,
But I'm saying, people are dropping furniture everywhere. So if that trash truck gets to that neighborhood and it's a couch stuck on a main street, which it was, they were able to pick that couch up. So it's just a process until we do get our vehicles running. And we appreciate you all's patience. But we will get there. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Councilmember Wood Johnson.
Yes. First, I'd like to give clarity to what I've been accused of. I take to heart what I do here as a council person, something that I've been loyal to. You know, I'm not looking for no kudos from nobody or a pat on the back. I missed 2 meetings that might have been severe to the rest. I had no knowledge Aisha Braveboy was coming. That date, if they had asked Miss Tucker, she could have told them, which I had already said previously, I was already down for going to the census. Mr. Barnhart and myself were at the first census kickoff, so I can't be 2 places at one time like some people can. The other meeting I missed, my daughter had an emergency and was rushed to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore for Lyme's disease and AID. So as a parent, my priority is to my child. This could have waited. It wasn't anything so astronomical that, you know, the town shut down or I ended up on CNN that put the town in harm's way. And with whatever decision was made, voting or whatever, I expect it in writing. That way, when this occurs again, if ever, the next person won't have to be falsely accused and unethically, you know, put in a position that is a lie. Now,
All right.
along with that, for the 85th anniversary, the alumni from my class are sponsoring a bus trip. Anyone interested can, the tickets are $45, you get $30 back. We'll be going on the 13th of March.
Where?
Delaware Park Casino. I'll make sure I run the flyers off, because I attended the senior club. They'll be going to Queen Esther July the 15th on Wednesday. The person selling tickets is Sarah Richardson. There'll be an event on the 29th downstairs. SLK will be doing HIV testing. It will be teen talk for children that possibly been in violence, bullying. Gift cards will be given out, mental health, drug treatment, case management. All of that will be a part of the program on the 29th of February. Today I attended the Black History program at the admin office with Angela Alsobrooks, which was very nice. The kids, they had liturgical dances and kids really reciting a lot of things from Black history. And that's my report. Again, I'm saying from what I'm being accused of, whatever was voted upon, I expect a letter to justify what was done. That way, I'll be the milestone for the next one that don't make the meetings, you know, in case of an emergency. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Councilmember. Councilmember Hargrove?
Okay, for my report, on 2/5/20, we had a conversation, a phone conversation on the phone about the bond initiative. Emails were sent out for updates on the bond initiative. At this point, we are at the, I'm going to say the kind of home run stages where we have to send them a fact sheet that's giving them the prices of everything, what we plan on doing for the Veterans Memorial, and updates on that. On March 7th, we are having we will be going up to Annapolis to testify in front of the delegates there for support of the bond initiative. And we asked that if any citizens in the town of Fairmount Heights, you're more than welcome to come and support. We're also looking for our veterans to come and support too. The 85th anniversary, we talked about that. Other council members will be giving their reports. Our next meeting for the 85th anniversary will be March 6th. We have gone to every 2 weeks for the 85th anniversary, but we skipped this week coming, which would have been the 28th, because I'm going to be having surgery that week, and we'll be having our anniversary meeting the following week, that Friday, which will be March 6th. On 2/8/20, I also attended the town hall meeting for Councilmember Jolene Ivy. We made connections there. We talked to people about the 85th anniversary and things that they can do and bring back to the community. There's a couple of programs, talking to some of the judges there. I would like to bring them in and meet with you guys and talk about some of the programs that they do and the things that they can offer our kids, and the volunteer help that they could give to our community. On 2/14 at the Teresa Banks Library, I spoke at a program that was sponsored by Councilmember Jolene Ivy, Love Shouldn't Hurt, which was a domestic violence program that she did. On 2/18, the Prince George's County Veterans Affairs Office did their Black History Month program. I was there where we honored veterans and veterans of the past and the things that they did. There was also a networking part there where veterans who needed information, we had the people there that could service them and help them with the things that they needed to get done. I am starting, remember we always have our Memorial Day Parade and Salute, that's coming up. I've already started working on some of those things. I have a few people in that committee. If you would like to be a part of that committee, you're more than welcome to come and give me your name. We have a retreat, as the mayor gave you, coming up, which would be February 21st and 22nd. At Bowie State University, and part of that meeting we will be talking about strategic planning for the town of Fairmount Heights for the next 5, 10, and 15 years and moving forward. So that's going to be a part of that retreat. I think it's needed. Like she said, we have visions and plans for the town of Fairmount Heights where we'd like to move forward, and we're trying to put things in place where we can move forward on those, even when some of us who are in office now may not be in office later. On March 21st, and this is something I talked about a little bit earlier, we're asking that our seniors in Fairmount Heights, friends of Fairmount Heights, come out and talk about the history of the town. We're going to be recording that. That's also going to be a part of our 85th anniversary. We plan on having a screen there and recording that. And the reason that we came up with this is because at our last meeting, after the meeting, the conversation was so interesting of what happened in Fairmount Heights, when it happened way back then. So we decided to have a historical meeting at the round table. The newsletters will be coming out. I'll let everyone know. The Civic Association, the HOH is gone now, but if they have an article that they want to put in the newsletter, they're more than welcome to do that. Each council member will be submitting an article to go in the newsletter. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Councilmember Waiters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to make it really short. I'll just mention a couple of things that I've been working on, and I'm going to, I'll come back with that. I've been working on an art show, annual art show for the month of April. The 25th is the target date. Getting things together with park and planning. Also the bicycle rodeo, which is either the 30th of May or the 6th of June. A bicycle safety rodeo is what we normally do when the scholars, just before they're getting out of school, to help them with safety, helmets, gear, teach them how to ride, the different traffic laws that they have to obey as a rider. I won't speak to annexation. Usually I give a report on annexation or SWOT analysis, which is strengths, opportunities, threats, and weaknesses of our community. I yield on that, though, because we're supposed to go to the retreat, and as Councilmember Hargrove has mentioned, we will be discussing that in the retreat. So I won't give a report on that because I'm looking to get some information or fresh information on the strategic plan. And United Communities Against Poverty, if everything goes well, will purchase the lot Melvin's Crab House, 711 Eastern Avenue. They're working on that now. And Dr. Valerie Thomas, I've spoken with her. She has, she's a scientist, and she does, has this aerospace program that she does where scholars are afforded the opportunity to learn how to be a pilot. Ms. Syfax, I want to pause right here to find out, since it was a part of our conversation in our work session, if you got the answers to those questions that you submitted.
Until March 6th, not until March 6th.
March 6th, okay.
March 6th.
Okay.
The answers, that date will be March 6th, and that was talked about earlier, where the citizens can come out and ask questions or hear the answers that was asked by Mrs. Syfax. And as Mr. Rumi said, she's a part of giving some of those answers, and she's been out all week. So.
You said March 6th.
March 12th.
I'm sorry, well, forgive me, I may have the wrong date.
What's March 6th?
Yeah, March the 12th.
Forgive me for mixing up the date, but
Yeah.
part of the reason is Ms. Sarumi was out, and she has a role in answering some of those questions.
I really need to, and I'll come to the town hall and work with you, but I really need to get the answers to those
Yeah,
questions.
you're right.
To prepare for the
Right.
hearing.
Well, that was the purpose of my asking you if you'd gotten them, because that's what we agreed to. We would get,
We're discussing it, right?
ma'am?
We're discussing it, right? We're discussing it now. So I'm telling you that I haven't gotten the answer.
Okay.
And March 12th is too late. I'm planning to come up here and spend some time maybe helping compiling the information and the answers.
Right.
Because one of the main things I want to do is to fact check what the ordinance says about 80% and whatever. We just want to make sure that we're all clear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, and then lastly, two things. We've kind of sort of gone, say your name for me, sir. Mr. Barnhart. Mr. Barnhart had mentioned, Councilman Hargrove has mentioned, we're kind of sort of doing the same thing, and I hope that we can do it collectively, because we were working on a stakeholders meeting, you know, and listening sessions. So we seem to be targeting the citizens, and we all seem to be doing, you know, putting forth the same effort, and mine is to get more people involved, or to do, you know, to have, for us to listen to you. So you have a meeting, I think Councilman Hargrove, we have a public hearing. We don't want to overtax you guys, but that's some of the things that we're working. We want to have a listening session or a stakeholders meeting with the community, and we don't want it to conflict with what you're doing, you know, if anything, to complement what you're doing. But that's the ultimate goal. We're trying to do the same thing that you're doing per se. And then lastly, I'm going to yield the remainder of my time to my colleague, Ms. Faye Howard, who is a member of the treasurer for the Democratic Central Committee, which I am a member also, and she's going to come and talk to you about the listening sessions on the county level for District 24, of which we are a part of.
Good evening. My name is Faye Howell, and I am the treasurer of the, I'm sorry, my name.
She heard me, that's all right, she can stay right
Ooh,
there.
I am the treasurer of the Democratic Central Committee, and I live in District 24, and I work with the district.
They can't hear you on the TV, so.
Ooh, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. That's all right. Take your time. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Faye Martin Howell, and I am the treasurer for the Democratic Central Committee, Prince George's County Democratic Central Committee. And I am here just to invite you all to come to our listening session that we're having on April the 21st And we haven't made the flyers yet because we just got our location today. But we're having a listening session on April the 21st. It's going to be at Glendale Community Center, which is located on 193 Glendale Boulevard. And this listening session will talk to you about getting out the vote, being a part of the census, taking a part in the elections and seeing what you could do. We'll also be inviting people like Dr. Thornton to talk about the Kerwin Commission, bringing information about that. There will be a flyer, and I will get it. Patricia will have it too, and we will get it to you all. But we want you all to come out to the listening session. But what's more important is that we want you all to come out so we can listen to what you have to say. What are your concerns, and how can we address them? So that is, again, on April the 21st from 7 to 9 at Glendale Community Center. In addition, Senator Benson and her staff of delegates and House people, the delegates, are having a District 27, it's a dinner. 24th, I'm sorry. It's a dinner where you all can come, sit down and meet your legislators, talk to them about issues. And that is on Monday, March the 9th. There will be a bus that goes to Annapolis, and the bus will be meeting at, the closest one to you, I think, is St. Margaret's Church on Addison Road. So I'm going to pass this out, and if you would like to go, there's a number on here for you to call, and you can request to be on the bus and come to Annapolis. And I want to thank you for giving me some of your time, Patricia. Any questions?
You're welcome.
Okay.
Sure.
I just want to encourage you all, if you can, to attend the meeting in Annapolis as well as our work sessions. I won't repeat what Ms. Howell has said, but we want to reiterate that, you know, this is your representation on the county level. Who's on the phone? Who on the phone? Who on the phone?
Okay. All right.
So that pretty much, again, I just want to, that concludes my report, but please, if you can make any of these meetings on the county level, you get to make sure. A lot of times you make a phone call to a certain office, and that's not the office that you should be calling. You know, the county council will be there, the at-large, the delegates, the senators, and various other people. So you guys come on out.
Okay. All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Akindu Walker.
Yes, good evening again, everyone. As I've stated before, I've chosen to step down as chair of Department of Public Safety, but I will be lending my professional talents to the town's P&L recovery. I've already sat down with the treasurer in reference to certain types of correspondence that needs to go out to those who are delinquent on their business license and things of that nature. So hopefully we will be recovering the debts that's owed to the town, and maybe we can put that towards possibly some youth programs or whatever it would take to get some type of activity back into the town. And I just want to say, it wouldn't be me if I didn't, that I would like for my fellow council members that have yet to make any type of statement in reference to the changes at the table to see if anybody else would like to make a statement. Because it did consist of the mayor and the council.
I would like to say something. The decision was made by the mayor and council. Everybody had a vote. Everybody voted the way that they feel they needed to vote. And that's how it went. Information was passed to Councilmember Wood Dodson as how the vote went. She did get the minutes to the meetings, and that's my statement on that.
Information was passed in what way?
A question was asked of this individual, she answered it. No, I'm saying, she's
Okay.
talking.
I tell you what, I think we will do at this point. Councilmember Akindu Walker, are you finished?
Yes, I'm
All right,
ready.
I'm gonna move now to public participation. because now is gonna be the time that anyone from the public, if you would like to have something to say, you can have something to say at this time. Public members, you all can either go to the podium or stand and say it right there.
He's asking that you move to the podium.
He's trying to record it.
Because he's recording the meeting. He's asking.
I just have a question. When you said there was a vote, my question was, were there actions leading up to the vote? I mean, is there steps, before you vote someone out?
There was conversation,
Okay, but that's not done.
but that's what, yes, it's in the minutes.
My question is, isn't that something, that vote for vice chair, isn't that what the mayor and council does after every election?
Yes.
That's standard protocol. Okay, so it's nothing new. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have anything for the good of the organization? Yes, sir.
So I just want to make this clear. That decision that was made by mayor and council, was that the correct decision or was that incorrect? What I mean by that is, what she just said up here, is that something that's a process that's supposed to be done during that time, or is this something that y'all just came up with?
No, you know what, that is a process that can be done, but it has to be done by the vote. And actually, it was, it was it was two choices. And so you could either vote for A or B. And then whoever got the majority of the vote, it was just done.
No.
It was done.
I just want to make sure that it's right.
No.
I mean, huh?
I just want to make sure that it's right.
Well, and see, basically, it used to be a situation whereas it was done during the organization meeting.
Okay.
That's when it basically was done.
But what needs to be justified is by saying that I didn't do what I was supposed to do. What wrong did I do in order to be removed? I'm not understanding. I don't know how I could be two places. Aisha Braveboy was not on an agenda.
She wasn't on the agenda.
It just randomly happened. And that day prior, we knew a month ahead of time that the census was that day. Ms. Sarumi brought it up. It was brought up in the work session. And that day, that's where we were. I mean, he's sitting here. We were there. It wasn't like I was at a go-go or the Ebony Inn. I was at a meeting that was designated to me.
Okay.
So when they're saying no, if the mayor had a commitment and you had a commitment, then
Why was
are
the
those
meeting?
both not
Right.
created equal? You all both had a commitment.
Right.
Neither one of y'all were there. So
Right.
why wasn't that incident created equal? Like, why was the mayor excused if she was, you know what I mean? Because you said it was because of emergencies happening within the town. Yes, if the mayor already had a commitment, but she's the chief one in charge, so maybe that commitment could have gotten moved,
I
because of
do
the
believe that I do need some of my other fellow council members to answer, especially that particular question there.
That's all I mean, why weren't
What was
you-
Aisha
Okay.
Braveboy a last minute thing? Because I didn't even know she was coming. Did you, Mayor Martin?
I had no idea she was coming.
Oh,
I
so-
actually had an appointment with
As
the
I
Maryland
said.
Black Bears. That's the normal time that we have our meeting.
I wanted it
We
right.
have it on the fourth Wednesday of the month. And I don't have anything scheduled on the fourth Wednesday, so when this came up, I had no idea Aisha Braveboy was gonna be here. So I went on to my meeting.
Right, but
Yeah.
it seemed like the meeting was called, as you mentioned earlier, correct me if I'm wrong, out of a crisis. So that's why the
Yes.
Braveboy meeting was called out of a crisis. So even though something was already on the calendar, if there's a crisis, you have to determine what takes priority. So I guess back to my same question, why weren't the commitments created equal for the mayor and the co-mayor, or the co-chair, whatever, I'm sorry if I'm getting the title wrong.
I like to make a
Okay.
statement.
Okay.
We all decided to make this decision. There have been several meetings that our co-chair did not attend. That wasn't the first meeting. Since we've been having this Vanderpool issue, chief issue, I'm sorry about that. Since we've been
Personnel.
having things going on in our town, we have scheduled a numerous amount of meetings. I even have gone to the hospital myself. But we have to do what's right for the town.
At the spur of the moment, you have a meeting.
It's not at the spur of the moment. We get a text or an email and we all come.
So you saying you've gone to the hospital, you just gonna elaborate on, or you could elaborate on that? You said you've gone
I'm
to the
just saying.
hospital yourself.
And I've come back to a meeting. But we've had several meetings, and we made that decision. In our charter, it doesn't say when do we change, or when we do change, or how we put it.
Okay.
So,
As long as I can get it and documented on paper.
Excuse me,
Okay.
excuse me.
All right.
Excuse me.
I think this is public participation.
It is
time
public
now, and
participation, the
so-
public has asked a question, if I may.
Okay,
Since
do
you
you
wanted
have
to
anything
answer
to say, Councilman?
yes, I do,
You
I
have-
do,
okay,
I do,
you can
I
go
do,
on.
I do. I think we're dwelling on a particular visit or event wherein our state's attorney came to speak with us. That was not, it was a meeting. It was concerning our public safety, so it was a special meeting. Within that meeting, it was decided, a concern was vented, and we voted. But I wanna go to, because this makes several references have been made to the charter, saying that something's in the charter, when in fact it's not. But concerning this, the charter states that we do have an organizational meeting. We decide, volunteer, wherever, who's going to be the chair. And the council amongst themselves chooses a vice chair. Okay? When and if the council, to a degree, feels, and I think this was the concern of the council was the lack of performance. You reference to two, but the concern was more than that. So the vote was taken for that purpose, the concern that was voiced. I wanna say this in all honesty, because in all honesty, I'm a logical, analytical. I would have to say this to the citizens, it was not done properly. It wasn't done properly, but I'm going to say this to the request for the letter. We don't necessarily have to do a letter. It's a vote and a notification. We made a decision like we always. It's not a letter every time the decision is made. However, the vice chair wasn't removed from her seat first, and then the new one voted in. That has to be corrected. If it's not, then we have the same vice chair as we did, and that will be Councilmember Wood Dotson. That's the logistics of the decision that we made. She was not removed first. You said, why am I, I'm sorry, I think she's asking me a question. I'm sorry. What was the question for me?
I have a question. It's not really a question, but to follow through on what you were saying in a procedure, usually with any employer, if you're having a problem with an employee, you bring that employee into the office. You discuss what the problem is. You give them one or two times to correct whatever he or she is. You just don't just say, well, you're out. Let's discuss what the problem is. It might be something at home that's causing them. We don't know. I'm not adding to that. But I'm saying the way this process, to me, was done, was definitely done wrong. You know, that's my...
It may have been, and that's the statement that I'm making, sir, but I am also making the statement that the council's concern with the council member with that is what it is. So it's the discussion that's going to take place, but their decision is pretty much our, per se. Let me put it that way, our. We all, mayor and council made the decision.
Ms. White.
Why this hadn't been done before? You know, with other council members not coming to meetings, I've never heard in the 12 years I've been here, I haven't seen it done before.
Again, Ms. White, I'm going to say, we keep referring to her not coming to meetings. That was mentioned, but I am confessing to the conversation that I was privy to. It wasn't for me. I don't even remember discussing her attendance at that particular meeting. But if it was, we've talked about 2 meetings. It's not just the meeting, her missing meetings. And I think Councilmember has spoken to it, Councilmember Wood Dodson has spoken to it, Councilmember Morgan has spoken to it. I don't know about Morrison, the mayor, but it's not just the attendance.
So what else is?
You have to ask,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
closed to you.
I-
Okay, I think they need to have a discussion with you, Councilmember, the point that I'm,
Really, I
That's why
think,
I'm saying, whatever it is,
Yes.
so that the accusations won't be misinterpreted. If it can clearly be put in writing, the adult way is if you're big enough to do it, then be bold enough to put it in writing. Whatever you say, it's fine with me. It's just a label. I'm still a council member, vice chair, co-chair, whatever. I know when I serve well. So, I mean, you get what your hand called for. I would like it in writing.
okay. I think we're gonna get a few more just statements to round this up, and I think, we've spent a considerable amount of time on it. I want everyone to have the opportunity to speak. So if we have any other people, any other community members that would like to make statements now, would you please do so now? Yeah, okay. All right.
I have a question for Ms. Sarum.
Uh-huh.
The project that's going on 60th Place with the zero homes,
Net zero,
net
yeah.
zero homes.
Mm-hmm.
When that process gets started, would the people of the community have input or any kind of survey, anything to do with that project? Because that does affect the people of the community.
It will, and they have said they're gonna work with the community. Mr. Rumi has probably talked to the representative later than I have, so she should be able to tell you what they've said.
The last time I talked to them, I think at their 30th anniversary, must have been in December. And so, they have not finished the whole, process, or committee process. Okay, so part B of the process is, contacting the community, get community input in terms of design, input in terms of color, input in terms of landscaping. So yes, so as soon as I get that information, we'll start having, the citizen engagement part, which is part B. So I will certainly let you know that.
So is this just gonna be meetings or this gonna be hearings?
Oh, it's gonna be like a charrette. I mean, I'm going to, ever attended a charrette. It's gonna be like a charrette where we have the owners of the property come in, to present several of what's up there. We get the citizen input, we get your design. I mean, it's actual citizen engagement. So that's what that will be.
Can I ask questions? Is there gonna be a parking impact analysis? Because I can see that there's just gonna be a real big parking problem. And that really needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I think so.
Beforehand, it needs to be addressed. That's how there was not adequate public input. Mr. Bernhardt lives right next door. Nothing was posted on that property saying they plan to build 6 houses. And
Okay.
that's just gonna be a real nightmare like on K Street.
Okay. And Mrs. Sarumi, did they actually mention anything about, I can't remember the last time when they were here, did they mention the driveways?
Yes.
They said there would
Yes.
be 2 driveways at each house.
Discussion about the driveway.
I mean, the driveway for 2 cars. Yeah.
They will allow, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we'll, as much as possible, we'll try to pull people in. And I know we're going to be having some stakeholders meetings, and as soon as they come forward, I know the last thing that I had heard anything was that they were pulling permits and doing different things like that, processing things, but there's going to be much more information forthcoming. So, now we're talking, this is February, probably within the next few months. Yeah. And we're going to try to bring that information right to the Civic Association so that they can work hand in hand with getting the information out and pulling the people out to be aware of it. Because that's very important. A lot of times, you don't get people who always come to the regular meetings. They have to have a special meeting for it. Actually, everybody up on that whole, on 60th Place needs to have special invitations to it. Yeah. Okay, I think I saw your hand, Ms.
Right, I
okay.
thank you for letting me speak. I'm not a member of the community, but I'm just listening to, what you all are saying about the police and ethics and things like that. I think it would behoove you to take a look at the citizens who did sign up and get them involved as soon as possible, because it's gonna be a it's gonna be a big issue with the police.
Yeah.
And I think you should get the citizens involved instead of waiting until a certain point.
Yeah.
You need to get them involved like tomorrow. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's true. We need, Mr. Barnhart, can you give us the list of those, the safety committee people, you know, those 5 people? Ms. White, you probably have it, because I think I took it in my notes too, but I don't have that right in front of me. We need to have that list. We need contact numbers also. We need those. So, yes, ma'am, we gotta get, Ms. Syfax, right over here to the left. Would you give your name and your address, please?
I'm Natasha Obama. I'm on 5019K.
Okay.
What do we do about harassment from the police itself and the council member that oppresses the police on my block? What do we, who do we come to as a council member to have a conversation or some type of meeting?
So let me make it clear.
Ethics.
Let me make it clear. When I took on the role of the liaison, co-chair, whatever you want to call it, one of the concerns that was raised was that me working closely with the police department, the abuse of power that I may have on K Street. Because everybody knows that I got on K Street because of my neighbors that moved on K Street and will not be compliant with tags that say State of Maryland on them. So I agreed, as part of my taking over, to recuse myself from anything that happens on K Street where it requires me to vote on my behalf. So that is in place. So going forward, once I meet with the county police tomorrow, we're going to set it up so that we can go over what are our goals and timelines of those goals. Part of those goals are going to have all of our people compliant with tags, compliant with the ordinances that are already in place, which are not being adhered to on K Street, right? The only time that I have called the police is when I have been threatened, when my family lives have been threatened, right, on multiple occasions by multiple neighbors. And what I think that my neighbors on K Street fail to realize is that I have 24-hour surveillance ring on my house. And I have never called the police for something that did not anticipate a reaction from my neighbors.
Now, what do I do when I'm blocked in my driveway and I call Fairmount Heights police and nobody comes? Do I call PG police or somebody when I'm blocked in my driveway?
Call 911, have them come.
Yeah, call 911. And you know, I realize K Street is a hot button issue as far as the parking and the situations there. And the whole issue about mediation, I don't know whether that's going to be helpful, but at some point we have to, it's something, at some point, something is going to have to.
How were you harassed, Ms. Obama?
Something is going to have to be done.
How were you harassed?
Madam Mayor, can I say this, please? Can I say this, please? I know it's an issue on K Street, and I'm sorry, I mean no disrespect, but a citizen asks a question.